everybody, and welcome to the July 2026 full moon ritual. Today we'll be doing the Prosperity Come to Me ritual by Amber Mackenzie. Today is just the tutorial, the same way that I have done the previous few times. However, I do also have some good news, and the good news is that this ritual that I'm currently doing the tutorial for will be our very first YouTube live ritual, which will take place on the 29th of July, which is, I think it's a Wednesday. And because of my working schedule and, toddler and all that kind of thing, I will be joining the 3 p.m. ET ritual, which for me personally is 8 p.m. in the evening. It is after my little one is in bed and we've had dinner and done all of that kind of stuff. Though I will be going live on the Wednesday the 29th of July 2026 it will be 2:45 p.m. ET. If you are in England, then that is 7:45 p.m. So keep an eye out for that. I'll make sure that I post links everywhere that we go. But I still wanted to do the tutorial beforehand we do that, just so you have an idea of what kind of thing to expect as well. So I thought I'll get the tutorial done now, and then I'll panic about the live later, because love a little bit of panic, do I. So, Prosperity Come to Me by Amber Mackenzie. This will follow the same kind of flow that the other tutorials have been. I'll explain what it is that's on the ritual sheet, which obviously I have printed for the same reasons as I have stated previously. I'll go through the items needed, and I think this time I'll also go through anything else that's on here as well, because I've realised that although some people do include things like the reason for the moon phase, like why it's relevant in the moon phase, I've not been including that. And I kind of just gathered that, maybe it might be obvious for some people, it might not be obvious for some people. So I thought for this one, I'd go through it all now, and then I'll do the same thing when I go live with it as well, and that will be so that you can completely understand what it is that we're doing, why we're doing it, and all that jazz. So, without further ado, items needed: dark coloured bowl or vessel to hold water for water scrying. Now, I don't have any dark bowls, really. The closest I have is, trying to spill the water, a regular cereal bowl, basically, which is this little bad boy here. I do have it completely filled with water, so that's why I was worried about spilling water everywhere. That is the darkest bowl that I have. I debated using my cauldron, however, cast iron water, not the best thing. It's already starting to go a little bit rusty because I haven't been taking care of it, and I don't want to make that any worse, so cereal bowl it is. Water enough to fill the bowl or vessel, minimum of 1 inch. Now, this is specifically so that when you do part of the ritual a little bit later on, that you can see ripples in it. Now, I did test this with just 1 inch of water, and I don't know if it's just me and I just don't know how to drop pebbles into water, which is, to be fair, that's quite likely. But I didn't really see much with it, so I filled it almost to the brim just so that I get a better effect when I drop the pebble in. Next item: 2 pebbles, rocks or marbles to create ripples in the water. I've slightly already discussed that. Now, I do have 2, which are just here. Now, I'm quite lucky that my outside area of my house is practically a car park. Lots of pebbles to choose from. I literally just went outside and picked 2 that I thought looked pretty, and that's pretty much it. Patchouli incense or create a blend to include basil, cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, chamomile and or dill. Same issue with my fire alarm, which I'm hoping to be fixed by the time that I do the whole live ritual thing. For the time being, I'm still upstairs. My fire alarm is still, like, you can't quite see it, but it's like over there in the hallway. I am in my bedroom, by the way. Well, mine and my husband's bedroom. And the fire alarm is right outside the door. So I don't quite want to risk that. So for the time being, I have chosen an incense stick, which is just here, until I can get that fixed. Now, it isn't patchouli because I hate the smell of patchouli. I hate it. It makes me feel so sick. When I used to work for my old job, there was this one guy that used to come in and he smelt like he bathed in the stuff 24/7, and he was such a lovely bloke, so I'd never say anything to him, but the smell alone made me want to run to the bathroom to throw up. So no patchouli incense to me. This is vanilla incense because it's nice and light, it doesn't cause too much smoke, and fire alarm, all that jazz. Okay, next thing. Incense burner or fire safe dish. Obviously, as you can see, this is elevated. That means it's in a holder. I'm not going to pick it up and show you. Green candle for candle magic, for attracting prosperity. Here she is. She's just over there. 5 white candles, one for each of the elements: earth, air, fire, water and spirit. Now I do have 5 white candles, however I am using tea lights instead this time, because out of the other candles that I have so many white candles. I can't find a bunch of my spell candle holders, and I can only find 2 of my white pillar candles, so I thought, you know what, this is a much nicer way to do it. The flame's going to be quite low. It's already going to be quite hot because there will be 6 candles lit at the same time. And I am roasty potato at the moment. The heat wave has gone, but I am still sweating so badly. So I thought this would be the best thing. Sorry, that was probably TMI. ADHD meds haven't quite kicked in yet. They probably should have done. We'll worry about that later. Anyway, where was I? Matches or lighter to light the candles. I obviously have fires. All good. Next thing is candle snuffer optional. As I've mentioned the previous few times, I don't use a candle snuffer. I think they look amazing and I love them, but I know for a fact that if I bought one, I would put it in a drawer, forget which drawer it's in, I'd lose it, I'd freak out, and then I'd start questioning reality itself. So instead, I do the good old blow it out, mate. It's fine. Next job, pen and paper to write down any inspired thoughts. I quite like this one. I love having a little journal on the altar anyway. You can kind of see the corner of it. I haven't got just like a sheet of paper. I have a current doodle journal. Don't know what a journal is. I meant a journal. Now I'm going to tell you a quick story before I show you the first of this. I used to use this notebook for when I went to work to keep track of my schedule beforehand. And on one of the days, we had a little, we call them like engagement days. Basically, you go into the office and then your entire day is packed of eating ice cream, eating donuts, going for coffee with people, doing really silly things like building a massive paper aeroplane and that kind of thing, which is all very fun. It's all very fun and games. However, I forgot to get a little plate when I picked up my massive donut. And when I say massive, it was like that big. It was huge. Well, to me it was. I'm 4'11", so maybe it wasn't that huge. But it looked massive to me. But anyway, no paper plate. I didn't want to put it down on the desk. I don't remember when the last time it was cleaned was. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to pop it on top of my book. I know this is relatively clean. It's brand new. Well, donut. Can't get it off. Can't get it off. No matter what I do, it can't get it off. I completely went sidetracked then. Anyway, pen, paper, pen is inside. Sorry about the tangent there. Maybe I'm a little bit hungry actually. This fasting isn't going very well. Anyway, what's next? Oh, cakes and ale of choice. Now, for me personally, obviously at the moment, I'm not eating in the same kind of way that I normally would. However, I have, you won't be able to see it, but I've written a tiny little note here that says cinnamon cake and mead. And that is my plan for when we do the live, because I think we should celebrate the fact that, you know, we're doing this all together, basically. So I'm going to save all of my actual eating and stuff for that moment. I'm very much looking forward to making this cinnamon cake, and I already have my bullet for my Valentine mead ready to go. Okay, so next stuff. Moon phase and explanation. But I'll read it out for you. Full moon is a phase to create abundance, accomplishments, money, and to fill needs. Need I say more? We know the full moon is powerful. It's all about fulfilling things, manifestation, that kind of thing. So that's why prosperity come to me is a brilliant idea when it comes to the full moon. Next point, month and explanation. July is a moon. No, it's not. It's not a moon, it's a month. July is a month for dream work, light, magic, purpose, and strength. So by combining the full moon and in July, for example, we are strengthening the magic that we are creating, which is why it's a brilliant idea to do it now. So this particular one also includes astrological timing and explanation, which you may not see in every ritual that we do anyway, just because some of us do not work with the zodiac, for example. I think it's a great idea. I love it, and I just don't understand it. No matter what I do, I don't get it. I'd love to, and I'm going to take classes so that I can, but I bet I still won't, so I tend to not work with that. But some people do. Amber has for this ritual. So Sun enters Leo. This is for confidence, ambition, creativity, growth and strength. And then the moon enters Aquarius. A time to seek out unexpected answers to problems. Free thinking is highlighted along with personal freedom. Now you can kind of see where it's being a good time to get answers for things that you didn't think you knew, like you needed answers for, would be a good idea when it comes to prosperity, especially if you've read the whole ritual as well. Okay, so next is the altar and circle setup. I will do the usual thing of picking you up, showing you my layout. I will find a better way to do this, guys. I'm sorry that I just have to pick my phone up and make you seasick, essentially. And for the live, I will not be in this room, and I will also not be at my altar. I will be at my coffee table downstairs, which is where I used to record videos of myself doing altars anyway, just because then you can see the whole thing without me making you seasick. But for the time being, I'm sorry. Ooh, sorry about the mess there. So as you can see, I have, ignore the Sainsbury's bag in the background, that's some vintage clothes. Cakes, kind of, an ale, candles, bowl of water, my big green candle, my incense, my lighter, and over there you can see my donut stained journal as well. So it's nice, easy set out. You don't need a lot of stuff for this. I didn't mention it, but you can see it here. Like, one of my stones is here and the other one's over here. It didn't specify in the ritual where to lay them out, but I put them there just because I felt like it makes sense for me. Okay, so preparation before the ritual. Take a pre-ritual bath to prepare yourself for this ritual. I bathed this morning. Thank you very much. I've been sweating at my desk all day, but I have washed my hands because that's the bare minimum you should be doing. I will shower again later, obviously, but I'm not doing it now. If you are creating your own incense blend for this ritual, go ahead and prepare that before the ritual. If you're planning to do this to be a coarse and loose incense, prepare a charcoal disc to burn it. So that means that if it is going to be a loose incense, make sure you've got your cauldron, your sand, your charcoal, you light it 5 minutes beforehand, basic stuff. Now, it doesn't state so in the ritual, but I do want to add something in here as well, to write down any prompts that you feel like you might need. So like in one of the rituals that I've done before, to show you what it looks like, you may not be able to think of these things when you're actually doing the ritual because you're busy doing ritual stuff and your brain doesn't want to do, like, well, I say it doesn't, mine wants to do 80 different things at once with Rock Lobster playing in the background and also thinking about all the thieves I'm going to catch. Not thieves. If I could edit that out, I probably would, but whatever. So I put a little note down here at the bottom, not that you can see it, but it says write any prompts you want. So this is part of the ritual a little bit later on, where Amber says to think about prompts to see if they inspire any ideas in you. These are things like, how should I bring more love into my life? How can I attract more money? What do I need in my life right now? Now, I have, let me show you, in my little trusty notebook, already written my prompts down, right there. Please ignore the 1,691 irradiated carcass in the background. That's just a nod to my favourite TV show. If you know, you know. Mr. Fibbles is very cross. Anyway, I've done that because I know for a fact that I'm not going to be able to remember when it comes to the time my mind's going to be blank. But like I said, I've said that before. Okay. Amber's also said if you prefer to dress your candles with the incense blend, make sure you do that before the ritual as well. Now obviously I'm using little tea lights and these aren't hard to dress. I don't really want to. I prefer dressing spell candles, and the same with pillar candles. It just takes an immense amount of stuff to dress them. Insert meme of ain't nobody got time for that. Well, if you want to do it, I don't feel the need to, because I've had a long trying day and I am waiting for the time that I could eat something. Hungry. Anyway, write down your altar area. This cleanses the area where you'll be working your magic. If you use incense, you can light this now or just prior to the ritual starting. So before the ritual is started, that is when we can light our incense. I believe there isn't a specific mention of when to do this in the ritual, so I will do that in just a moment. Now, obviously, I have cleaned my space. I do have a little altar cloth on it as well, and the altar cloth is more just little decoration because my altar is an extremely old Welsh writing desk that I got for free when I used to live in some flats in Chester. Somebody left it at the bottom of the flats, and the idea was if something's there, you can nab it if you want it. I saw it, I could carry it, it's mine now. It's been with me for a good 15 years or so, but the top is very scratched. So I put the altar cloth on just to make it look a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. But obviously it has been wiped down, I've shaken the cloth out, I've washed it, all that kind of thing as well. So what we're going to do next is move on to the ritual. So before I go ahead and do that, I'm going to light my fire stick, which I may need to replace. So one sec, please. Okay, so it turns out that I don't actually need to replace the fire stick. It just turns out I'm just a tiny bit dumb. Honestly, woman, sometimes. Now you'll get to see the full glory of how much I'm a little bit of a pyromaniac, because I like it burning until it reaches just the end of the tip. And then, ooh, didn't quite think the camera angle through for this, but it's where it should be. If I feel like it's going to completely get in the way of the ritual, I will move it to the top left instead of the bottom right. Hopefully for the time being it will be okay, but I will keep an eye on it for you as well, because I want you to be able to see what's going on. In fact, I wonder if I kind of see my stairway there. What do you think? Good. It'll do. Alright, cast in the circle. Take a deep cleansing breath, hold it for a couple of seconds to bind with any stress or self-doubt that you are holding within, and then slowly release it, pushing out all of that unnecessary angst. Envision a white sparkling mist rising from the floor. Allow this mist to encircle you as it swirls around you diasil, sunwise, clockwise. 3 times to cast a circle of protected energy around your sacred space. So cleansing deep breath, we do that pretty much every single time we do a ritual. For those I didn't say that right. For those who are the same as I with amphilophobia, who cannot visualise, do not see a picture in their mind, envisioning a white sparkling mist rising from the floor, I do have an alternative for that for you, just because I can't do it. You might have varying levels of amphilophobia where you can kind of see stuff. You know what, guys, I am going to move it. I'm just a little bit conscious of this. So I'm going to switch locations and pop my ale there instead. Yeah, that works. Where was I? Okay. So deep cleansing breath, hold it for a few seconds, breathe it out along with any bullshit that you don't want. Excuse the potty mouth, it's been a long day. And then envision white sparkling mist rising from the floor. Allow it to encircle you as it swirls around you this way 3 times to cast a circle. So what I'm going to do instead, I will do the deep breath, and then I'm going to raise my arms And because I can't visualize it spinning around me, I'm going to spin 3 times instead, nice and slowly on the spot with my arms out, so that I can like move the energy around me instead. So please excuse me for 2 seconds while I go ahead and do that. One, 2, 3. Now, as you can see, as I went around on the last one, I raised my arms the whole way up, and you probably didn't see my hands, but I did this with my hands to seal the circle. Again, not necessarily, it's just something that helps me visualize it. Okay, calling the chord. I'm not having a good day, am I? Dearie me. Calling in the corners. Okay, right, the first candle to the left. So this will be this little bad boy over here. I stick it already. Light the first candle to the left and say, Element of water, the watchtower of the west, we welcome you to our ritual. We call upon your powers of divination, intuition and psychic abilities to support our magical work today. Nice and easy. Light the second candle to the right of the now lit candle, so next one line in the semicircle, and say, Element of earth, the watchtower of the north, we welcome you to our ritual. It didn't light, I'm going to try again. What is up with this candle? There we go. We call upon your powers of manifestation, abundance and prosperity to support our magical working today. Light the centre candle, third one, and say, Element of air, watchtower of the east, we welcome you to our ritual. We call upon your powers of enlightenment and wisdom to support our magical work today. Light the fourth candle and say, Element of fire, watchtower of the south, we welcome you to our ritual. We call upon your powers of passion and purpose to support our magical work today. Light the fifth candle and say, Element of spirit, representing the cosmic energy of both the universe and within ourselves. We welcome you to our ritual. We call upon your powers of creation and manifestation to support our magical work today. Corners, called. Evocation time. Like the green candle. I'm going to have to pick it up. My green candle, as you can probably see, has been through some shit. It is dipped, bent, all sorts. So, we're going to do it this way. Don't burn yourself, please. Please practice proper fire safety. Don't want to burn your house down. Today, on the day of the full moon of August. It isn't August, it's July. Today, on the full moon of July, we invite Mother Moon to witness our magical work. With your wisdom and your guidance, we will work to create abundance and attract prosperity to each aspect of our lives. We ask for your attendance to witness our heart's desires and help us find the way in the dark to the bountiful lives that we seek. Very beautiful. I love that verbiage. Okay. Now the spell is a little bit different to some of the ones that we have done previously. There is a lot of reading. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read each section, and if the section requires something for us to do, I will read the section, do the thing, move on to the next section. If you have any questions about this, by the way, please feel free to ask. You can either comment on the Facebook information page, drop me an email personally, which I will say at the end. You can email the council email if you want to. It's just one of those things that every single one of us does a ritual a little bit differently, as you will see when you get to the dark moon, which I tend to write mostly because I love the dark moon. But anyway, enough chatter. The spell. As the light of the full moon shines down upon the upon the earth, we hope to see a glimmer of inspiration on our quest to welcoming prosperity into our lives. We are done with feelings of scarcity and limits on what we can have and be. Abundance is the natural order of the universe, and today we recommit to attracting everything we need and want back into our lives. When we imagine our day to day, we feel more joyous when we are surrounded by that which brings us comfort and love. This includes the things we have and people we love. Sorry guys, I don't know what's going on. It is our right to have what we want and to express our strong belief that by calling it to us, we are aligning with the idea of abundance. We know that prosperity for ourselves doesn't create scarcity for someone else, since our belief in abundance will supply us whatever we need in limitless and unnumbered amounts. As we attract what we need into our lives in comfort and joy, we are attracting that for others. That is the nature of abundance. As we work with the elements and Mother Moon, we surround... Goodness, let me try that again, sorry guys. As we work with the elements and Mother Moon, we are surrounded by the warmth and light brought to us by the candles we have chosen to represent each. As we gaze into the ball of water, we see the dance of the candlelight upon the surface of the water. The movement works to help us water scry, allowing us to see images and create our own meanings to inspire and direct our actions. Soften your gaze and allow these images to resonate within your imagination. Drop a pebble into the water to create ripples whenever you need. Open your mind and allow your gifts of psychic ability to see what your eyes cannot. Trust in yourself and what you feel during this process. You may consider prompts during this time to encourage the inspiration to come. What can I do to be more prosperous? What do I need in my life? How can I attract more money? How should I bring more love into my life? Then imagine the feeling of having everything you want or need. Let the worry and stress melt away, leaving you to feel free of those feelings. The feelings that get in the way of allowing yourself to hope and dream of the life and future that you want. Remember, you don't need to know how you will call abundance into your life. You just have to feel like it is on the way to you. It is like placing a beautiful welcome mat outside your front door with the belief that your favourite people will appear with a visit for you. As ideas or bits of inspired thought pop up, take your pen and paper and to make a few notes. Allow these to flow freely without much analysis. You can read through them after the ritual has ended. Spend a little time with this, looking for inspiration, making your notes, and allowing the feelings of abundance and relief from the worries to wash over you. Okay, so that didn't quite work out how I was planning. However, I'm going to do the thing. So, if you just excuse me for a few moments, please. I think that will do. Okay. Communion time, guys. Now we will celebrate our gifts of inspired sight, our awakening psychic abilities, and our unwavering belief that we have called abundance into our lives, and it's already on its way. With both hands opened above your cakes and ale, say, I'm going to move it a bit closer so you can see. Mother Moon, thank you for lending me support. We celebrate the power of the full moon and are so thankful to have support. Today we eat and drink together and in your honour. May these cakes and ale be blessed. As usual. Obviously no cakes for me. Waiting for the live one. Now, I do just quickly want to mention, at the end of my little scribble, there was a couple of things that I wrote down that I didn't really want you to see. So I've written them down here. Now, you can't see them for a very personal reason. When I don't want people to see the things that are inside my head, I do the action of writing them down, but I don't actually put them on paper. And this is a way for me to solidify them in my mind instead. So I know what the last two things are that I wrote on that paper. You have no idea. To you, it looked like I was just scribbling in midair. But they are very personal things to me that I'm not going to share with you, because as much as I love you, my life is my own. Okay? So, you know, if you're ever sharing a ritual with someone and there's something that you do want and you're supposed to write it down, but you don't want them to know, then just pretend to write it down and just write it in your head instead. Just say the words in your head. Hopefully your head will remind them. And if your head doesn't remember it, just write down a single word that will help you remember what it's supposed to say. That's what I used to do. I've gotten better at it now. Thank you, ADHD medication. But either way, that's how we've done it. Okay, so typically we've done communion. Now would be energy requests, as I've stated previously. I'm not going to go into that because I'm not actually doing those. But this is a section where we would do that. We'd do the whole raising energy thing. We'd, you know, that kind of stuff. So motive and all that jazz. As I'm doing this on my own with you guys just watching me, I won't be doing it because I do that kind of thing every day in the morning anyway. Okay, so next is saying thanks to the guides or deities. So this will be in relation to our little large green candle. It doesn't specifically say to pick it up, but I like to do that to acknowledge that this is the one that I am focusing on. So thank you, Mother Moon, for joining us as we set our sights on attracting prosperity by believing in abundance. You have illuminated all that brings us comfort and joy and supported our efforts to ask for these for ourselves. We carry our intentions forwards and thank you for the energy to make this all happen. Hail and farewell, Mother Moon. Blow out the candle. Or snuff if you've got a snuffer. Corner releasing. With your hand over the fifth candle set all the way to the right. Now, I'm going to move it just so you can see. Candle here. When it says hand over the candle, this is going to hurt. It doesn't mean there, okay? It means like here. It's still over, but I'm not burning my skin. Fire safety, guys. Practice it. Thank you. Hand over. Thank you, powers of creation, for lending me the belief that I can make these things happen and bring joy into my life. Say if you will, leave if you must. Farewell, spirit. Extinguish the flame of this candle. Smother a breath. She's out. She's just being stubborn. With your hand over the fourth candle. All the way up here, guys. Oh, it's still pretty hot. Thank you, powers of the south, for lending me the energy to make the thing I want to happen. Stay if you will, leave if you must. Farewell, fire. Blow out the candle. Sorry, I don't know why I just randomly held my chest there. That's just one of these weird things. Okay. With your hand over the third candle. Thank you, powers of the East, for lending me inspired thought and clarity. Stay if you will, leave if you must. Farewell, air. Hand over the second candle. Thank you, powers of the North, for lending me the stability. Why are S's hard? Try that again. Thank you, powers of the North, for lending me stability and security to push myself to new heights and experiences. Stay if you will, leave if you must. Farewell, Earth. Hand over the final candle. Thank you, powers of the West, for lending me the healing needed to step forward and set new goals. Stay if you will, leave if you must. Farewell, water. Extinguish the flame. Okay, time to dissipate the circle. Envision the swirling, sparkling white mist going back into the earth. Clap your hand 3 times and say the circle is open but always unbroken. Obviously I did this differently, so I'm going to undo what I did to begin with, starting with my hands up here, like this, but like way up there. And then when I get to the final round, I will bring them down and force it back into the earth instead. Because again, can't see it up here, going to use what I can feel instead. So let's undo the circle. Ooh, wobble. 2. Third on the way down. And feel it pushing with my hands. My eyes are open so I don't fall over. Back into the ground. Dissipated. Perfect. So, let's have a look and see if there's anything else at the end of this ritual. I believe that is it. Yes, no ending notes for this one, guys. I believe. Yeah, no ending notes. Fabulous. So, that is the tutorial for the full moon ritual of July 2026. I don't think there's anything else that I need to say about this other than, obviously, if you want to join the live, then make sure that you are available at the 3 p.m. ET slot, which will be 8 p.m. for me personally in England. I'm not sure where it would be because we have members across the whole world, which is absolutely insane and it's brilliant. But just look at the calendar, 3 p.m. ET. I will be going live no later than 2:45 p.m. so that I am exactly on time at 15 minutes before the start time. Now for the first 10 minutes, I will do things like explaining any substitutions that I've made, although I probably won't because as you can see, I have everything already. But if you do have questions, you'll be able to ask them there whilst I am live with you. Or even if you just want to come and just see it in practice whilst I am joining in with it. Now, I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but I'm going to attempt to share my screen at the same time so that you can see the timing of me reading the thing you're supposed to do, me doing the thing you're supposed to do, and then responding to the thing saying that yes, I have done it. I will try and get that all sorted out for you. Obviously, if there are any problems, then I will apologise at the time or afterwards, depending on if it is mid-ritual. It kind of just depends on how it goes. So yeah, other than that, if you've got any questions, feel free to email me directly at tmcsyalasia@gmail.com or the council email at tmcscouncilmembers@gmail.com, or you can comment down below, or you can comment on the Facebook page instead. And with that, I believe that's it. So, happy witching.